Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Expert presentation. Today, the topic is Become the CEO of Your Life and Create a Growth Plan for 2022. We are joined by a second-time guest. I think it's only the second time we've had somebody back for a second appearance, and that's Adam Hergenrother. And Adam is here today to impart some of his wisdom on us, some of the learnings he's done over the last decade of building multiple businesses. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and bring Adam onto the screen. If you can, take down Adam's contact information off this screen if you want to take a picture of your screen. Once again, we're going to go ahead and email out a link to this presentation later. So if you got to leave for any reason, you'll get a link to it. You'll be able to watch it recorded. You'll be able to participate today in the chat. I'm going to ask some polling questions, but I'm going to bring Adam in, and then I'm going to read his bio for all of you. So Adam, I just want to say hello and good morning, and thanks for being here.
Well, I'm super excited. And again, I appreciate all that you guys are doing out there, and how much time and energy it goes into making just this 30-minute presentation available to everybody. So you guys are doing amazing work. So thank you for allowing me to be on for a second time.
Awesome. And it goes fast, right? I mean, we've done this before. We go fast. In this topic, you and I could talk about this.
Yes, we could.
But let me go ahead and introduce, for those of you who don't know Adam, Adam Hergenrother is the founder and CEO of Adam Hergenrother Companies, right? AHC, which includes Livian, BlackRock Construction, the founder and the Force Multiplier, and Project U, among several other real estate development and leadership training companies. Adam is an entrepreneur. Adam, every time I talk to you, I get excited. I love entrepreneurs, and you are definitely an entrepreneur at heart, and has built a thriving business, in fact, an organization in less than 10 years through his commitment to personal growth through business success, right? So AHC is a powerhouse connector, matching talent with opportunities, the community with resources, clients with realtors, investors with projects, and goals with high impact content and training for individuals. Through models, systems, culture, training, and community, AHC empowers the leaders of today to develop the leaders of tomorrow. Adam lives in, Shelburne, Vermont?
That is, yep.
Very good. With his wife, Sarah, and 3 children, Sienna, Asher, and Madeline. Adam, thanks for being here again.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm excited.
All right. So today's topic is become the CEO of your life, right? Yeah. And create a growth plan for 2022. And here's the thing. I just want to kind of start this off. I know I got a series of questions I want to ask you, but 2021, just to take a quick look back at 2021. I'm not sure anybody had a plan for 2021. I'm just not sure anybody did. I think people had a plan and they modified. And if you had a plan and you were able to just modify, I have a feeling you made a killing in 2021. Yeah. What do you think, Adam? I mean, how do you see it? There's people that did and people that didn't. Where do you see it?
Well, I think you fall in love with your vision, but you date your model, because models are always adaptable. Your vision is something that you don't ever have to get away with. And so that's essentially what we did is, we wanted to continue to expand. And I think we ended up being, at the end of this year, we'll close somewhere around 5,000 transactions for our real estate team, and that went up from about 3,000 the year before. And it's about, we got really focused on what we wanted to do, the value we wanted to provide, how we could go ahead and really focus on employee. Mental health was a big one in 2021 for agents and employees and everybody. There's a lot of challenges, and so we wanted to face them directly. And so, yeah, you're right. I think people had a plan. And I think if you're able to adapt the plan and have resolve towards your plan, you succeeded. And I think that's going to be even more important in 2022 as I believe the world economy starts to shift, which is a whole other conversation. But as it does, I think you're going to have to be very tenacious with your approach to business building, which is singular focus, which is why I wanted to talk today about what does it even mean to be the CEO of your life. So, yeah.
Love it. We're going to get that. That's going to be the first question. But first, I want to know who's on today's session so we can kind of gear some of the conversation to what's going on. And I know for those of you who've been here before, I'm going to ask a very simple question. And it really is the very first polling question. Everybody get ready. You're going to have a chance to play along. You're going to be asked a question. And the very first question I have is going to be, I have been in the real estate business how long? Less than 2 years, 2 to 9 years, 10 plus years, or heck, I'm not even licensed yet. Adam, you're going to love this. We have an awful lot of people who are actually just sitting in licensing courses still, who just want a career in real estate, that come into these. So this is all fresh to them, and people are frantically taking notes, and we have all ranges. Look at this. Well, we have a huge range of people here. I'm going to go ahead and give it about 5 more seconds. Go ahead, everybody. Click and answer. 4, 3, 2, 1. I will share the results. This is all anonymous. Nobody can see your name on what you're answering. So go ahead and answer it in. Sometimes people are like, I don't know if I want to answer it. So it's all anonymous. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to end the poll. We're going to share the results. And how about this? So less than 2 years, 21, almost 22%. 2 to 9 years, about 11% of the people. 10 plus years, 10% of the people. Love it. 10 plus years. I got to give you a lot of credit. If you're coming to this and you've been in the business for 10 years, you're doing something right.
Absolutely.
And Adam, you and I talked a little bit earlier, and it was, if you want different results, you have to have a different behavior or a different skill set.
Yeah.
And I think what this is going to be why those people, I love it. If you've been in 10 plus years and you're coming to this, that means you're looking for a change behavior or a new skill set, new knowledge to do business different, better, faster, stronger, smarter. Love that. And then heck, I'm not even licensed yet. 57%. How awesome is that?
That's wonderful.
How awesome is that? I am so excited. So 57% of the people here, they haven't even done a deal, but they want to. So this is awesome. If you're already coming to this, people, and when you want to understand how to actually organize your business, set a vision, and I think we're going to talk about that a little bit today with Adam, you're in the right place. All right. So Adam, first question. What does being the CEO of your life, what does it mean in the context of real estate?
Yeah. Well, I think there's the way I like to ask that question is that everybody is the CEO of your life. It's just the fundamental question is do you know where you're going? And I think and whose life are you living? Because I think a lot of us are ingesting other people's answers because it's safe and we haven't really vetted against our own principles. And so when we start off being CEO of your life, it doesn't mean you're the CEO of a company. It just means that you have an individual life. Be the CEO of it. Make your decisions. Be aware of the decisions that you're making. In a powerful question that if you want to start asking, which I ask our team pretty much every year around this time, is there's a series of 10 questions that we ask our folks this, but one of the end question goes, Toby, is just at the end of all of this, what's the point of your life? At the end of all of this, where are you at? Yeah. What was the point of your life? And the thing is, what I love about that question is you can actually break it down and ask it on a daily basis. Like every day when I get up, it's like, how do I want to feel today? And what is the point of me? What is the point today? What is the point of me doing this? Is that to impact a client? Is it to serve? Is it to contribute? What does that actually look like? And so being the CEO of your life is getting very clear on the direction that you're taking your life and not just floating in the winds. And so it's a powerful question, but everyone needs to be really important. People need to understand that when you're making decisions, which by the way, leadership is nothing but making quality decisions every single day. So that it comes back to is then I always work backwards and say, well, how do I put myself into a situation to make the highest quality decision that I can make? Which, Jeff Bezos is very famous for saying that. He goes, my job as a CEO of Amazon was to make 3 quality decisions every day. And if I did that, I went home. Right. And so it's kind of like that. And so being the CEO of your life, I use that as in the business world, being the CEO of your life is making quality decisions for your life around health, around the hours you work, the productivity that you do, the clients you say yes to, the business, the organization you say yes to. All of those things are designed so that you are designing your life and not just necessarily free throwing through it.
Love that. So life doesn't happen to you. Life should be
happening for you.
For you, right? And based on the decisions you make,
yes.
Right, is where you're actually is helping you guide you to where you're going. And it's interesting because in my position as executive director at Kaplan, I tell everybody one of the greatest things I did, and I don't even know where I picked this up, but I thought about myself as a leader and decision making. Because you're right, when you're making decisions for yourself or your family or your business, which maybe you have employees or you have other agents managing, you're never going to be perfect. So I love that you said when Bezos says, I got to make 3 quality decisions. He didn't talk about all of them need to be perfect, but I got to make 3 of them.
Hey, you're gonna mess up all the time, right? And what I mean by even the CEO of your life is like, all right, how many clients am I going to call today? What seller do I have to have a real conversation with today? That's a quality decision. Or it can go back to your life is, what am I going to eat today is a quality decision, right? Those are really, so my point of being the CEO of your life is being aware. If you choose to eat something that's not healthy for you, just be aware of it. If you're choosing to eat something healthy, doing it. If you choose to skip lead generation, be aware and conscious that you're doing it. And so again, that you're in charge of your life, right? You're running your life. Just be aware of the decisions and the questions that you're asking, because the quality of your life, Toby, is going to be determined by the quality of questions you ask, period. And that's why the best people, the best leaders, what they do differently is they have better quality answers to the problems that show up every day. It's not that they don't have problems. They're just better at answering the question because they have more clarity.
And I think this is going to get to really my next question for you, which is, I tell my people at work, I say, listen, I'm not perfect, but I'm shooting for 90%. 90% of my decisions are excellent, and 10% are just dog crap, frankly. And I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking, right? But if I can shoot for 90%, I'm pretty good. But I also know that in order to make decisions, you've got to have your matrix. You got to understand what's your decision matrix. So how are you making decisions? And I think what we're really talking about is guiding principles, right? So what is the guiding principle for your life and business?
Yeah. It's a wonderful way that you put that. And I love how you said that, no leader is perfect there. And the more you get to hang out with more successful people that we put up on pedestals, you realize they're just as wrong just as many times as you are, right? Which is, I think it's like a freeing feeling though. It's like they still put their pants on. They still sleep in one room, even though they have 10, right? They're doing the same thing you are. Like Jeff Bezos doesn't feel any different walking into his house than you walking into yours, right? It's the same feeling. We just think that it's changes in there.
He's got nicer floors than I do.
Yes, floors, but like, Jeff even actually said that he goes like, I only sleep in one of the rooms, so I don't know why I need any more anyways. The guiding principles of your life, and you can have them for your life and you should have them for your business. Like, for me, it's, why am I doing all this? I care way more about how we do what we do than actually accomplishing some goal just to check the checkbox. And so we care about using business as this conduit to grow personally. Because when particularly in real estate, you wouldn't sign up to be a therapist, to not literally be a therapist, but to help people through a lot of emotional needs, to have a client that's supposed to close on a house and that same day the buyers walk away and all of a sudden they packed up. And how do you handle that? To having employees walk out on you, to getting lawsuits, to all the things that happen in business. So it's an opportunity. That's the basis of it for me, is that this business is just a journey. And if you read business books that tell the narrative of individuals, what you're telling is their story of the hardships, and you hear how they overcame it. And so one of the guiding principles that we use for my life is that everything is for me to learn and grow from. So that life is happening, like you said earlier, for me, not to me. So if something is a challenge out there, great, I get to learn from it, right? It's just another way of being able to using business as this conduit for personal growth, which means that personal growth just means that something that used to bother you no longer bothers you, so you can stay clear to make a better decision. So you can see how these all kind of fall into line here, because the clearer you are, the better decision. When you're angry, you're not making a great decision. You still make one, it's just not as good. And when you're clear, right? When you're clear and you're stable, you're emotionally sound, you make the highest decision that you can make based on what you have for data in there.
It's funny. In fact, I've had a very, very successful person who I looked up to my whole life. He said, Toby, the clearer your values are, principles, values, probably interchangeable there. The clearer your values are, the easier the decisions are.
Yes.
And so, what do you value? What are your principles? And then make decisions become super easy when it comes down to that.
One easy example in business is we have what's called win-win, right? So meaning that in sports, there's a win-lose, right? It's that somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. You know that going into it. The thing with business, though, is that it doesn't have to be win-lose. And that's how most people approach this. So we, as a guiding principle in our business, is it's how do you win-win so that the vendor wins, the title company wins, the client wins, I win, right? Everybody wins in this. There shouldn't be going in there like somebody lost in the transaction. Because then all of a sudden it's not the best and highest use of your contribution. Sure, go out there and contribute, but one of the guiding principles, so if somebody comes with a challenge, you go, hey, here's a problem we have coming up there, I go, well, go find a win-win. And so they can critically think for themselves throughout the business of finding that win-win solution.
Excellent. Love it. So I think that what I'm really hearing here is make sure you establish your guiding principles. Who are you? Who do you want to be?
Yeah.
What's driving your decision making, right? And once again, when your values are clear, your decisions are easy.
Exactly.
Right? Have clear values, stand for them, right? Let me move into the next piece. So, because a part of this, right, making decisions, having values really kind of leads into what are you going to do in 2022, right? Like we got 2021, we just been through, we learned a lot. And, my business changed immensely. We had to crunch, years and years of change within months. And now we're into 2022. So now we're taking everything we learned. We have a bunch of new, principles.
Yeah.
And then, so what's the first step to creating kind of this inspiring plan, this maybe say growth plan for people for 2022? What is the first step?
Yeah. Well, I think we kind of answered the first two is what do you want out of 2022? So at the end of remember I said that question about your CEO is what is the point of all this? So at the end of 2022, what have you accomplished? Right. And then work backwards from there, right? So what does that look like for your life and for your business? Because there is no like separation in business and in personal life anymore, particularly in real estate. And I always call that just work-life integration, which I said earlier, we just call it living, right? You're just living, right? You're just doing those things. So what do you want whatever you want out of your business? What does it look like? And then start working backwards. What level, what new, and this kind of goes to one of the other questions, but like what new level, once you understand where you want your business to be, if it's an increase for what it is, there has to be a new level of action that's being taken. Right? Because you said this earlier, is that if you want a new result in your life, a new level of action has to occur. So if you want to take your business from 10 closings a year to 30 closings a year, that may be a new action. Maybe I hire somebody, I hire an employer, I hire an agent. It may be that I get more purposeful with my time. And maybe that I'm only, another thing that can be very clear for people is that, you may want to only work 5 days a week. Okay, great. Then what is that going to look like for your business? But you get very clear on that's being the CEO of your life. Just don't let anybody tell you what it needs to be. Everyone's in a different season in their life. Everyone's in a different spot and things mean more to other people. Like for our organization, we're really focused on like mental health for our employees, our enthusiasm for our agents to be able to go in there, shared resources so people have time off to be able to do this. Because it was a big one in 2021 and 2020 was really challenging for people. You go out there and you work with a buyer, like, 57% of people haven't worked yet. You're working with a buyer, you may write 18 offers with that one group and they're getting nothing. And they're going to you to go, and you're supposed to be my eight. What are you doing? Like,
we're losing. Right.
Mentally draining. So it's focusing on your recovery a lot.
Yeah. Excellent. I love it. So the first step, right, in creating that growth plan is understanding your values, understanding that what do you really want to have happen in the end? It's funny you say that. A lot of people, those 57% of the people here coming in, they're watching this and they're like, yeah, I don't even know really where to start. I just know I want to be in the business. I want to work hard. I want to sell a lot of homes. I want to make a lot of money. And that's great. But what does that really mean? And so one of the things is we did design a new agent training course called Real Estate Accelerator. And the funny thing is we started at the end, which is, one of the first things you do is you come up with an income plan. Mm-hmm. So I would think about it. Everybody out there, I'm imagining you grizzled, wizened veterans, been in the business 10 years plus. You probably have an income plan for next year. In fact, you probably know exactly what you need to make. You're probably understanding what you need to do in order to actually increase, or maybe, like you said, Adam, I love the people are in different seasons of their life too. Yeah. People, so sometimes at some part of your life, you're going to just crank hard and you're going to burn both ends of the candle. In other parts, you're going to travel or you're going to spend time with family, maybe older family members who won't be around forever, or young kids, depending on where you're at. Understanding your seasonality, but don't let life happen to you is what I'm hearing, right? You are the CEO. Set a plan. What do you want to have happen for that year? And understand that you probably got to engineer it backwards. You want to make this much money. How many homes is that? Yeah. And how much work do you really have to do to get there? That's
the key, is like when you ask if you want to do 100 homes, is like, then you go, am I willing to take that level of action to get to 100 homes? Am I willing to make that sacrifice? And I don't know the answer to that. Neither does Toby, right? That's the question is am I in that season in my life where I don't have any other responsibilities? Because I was there once, right? I loved working 12-hour days, 7 days a week, and just grinding through and building these things up, right? I have 3 kids now, and that's not necessarily the life that I want to live. So then I have to think about things differently. And that's the whole point is, Don't just accept somebody else's response because it sounds good or it's convenient for you. Right. Be the CEO of your life and design it the way you want to.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So what new skills or expertise, right? So people want to make plans. And sometimes, those plans, you have to do more work, 12-hour days. Other times plans are, you got to be better at technology, or you got to be better at communication, or you got to be better at something. And we started very early in this conversation, said, listen, you want a different result. You have to have a different behavior or a new skill set, something that's going to drive a different. This is like me saying, I'm going into, the holidays and I'm not going to gain weight like I do every year, except then I eat the same amount of food,
exactly.
and I eat the same amount and I don't do anything different. What do you think is going to happen, right? I'm going to gain weight again. So if you want to change it, you got to change it, right? And so let me do this. I'm gonna ask a question of everybody, polling question for everybody, because we're talking about plans, and plans are powerful. You hear this all the time. A lot of self-help, motivational speakers, write it down. The reason why they all tell you to do that, to write it down and write it out, is because it works, and it does work. And so let me ask I'm going to ask all the attendees a poll question, and you can be, once again, it's anonymous. So be as honest as you can. And the question is going to have to do with business plans, right? And my game plan for 2022 is, first answer, completely mapped out, including business plan, marketing plan, and income plan. Well, it's kind of sketched out in my mind, but needs to be written out and tightened up a little bit. I'm just going to be the same thing I did in 2021. Or to be honest, I'm kind of winging it. And then finally, I need serious help to formulate my plan. And now I know a lot of you are fresh in licensing, but you know what? You should have a plan too. You should be working on your plan. You should be talking to or working with somebody that can help you with a plan. Like I said, we have Real Estate Accelerator that's available through Kaplan. And it does just that, builds a plan for you and 8 weeks of coaching. But all right, I'm going to go ahead and close this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, and poll. Here we go. Share the results. How about that? So I got 7% of the people. That's probably our 10-year plus people, I would think, or maybe it's some very, very conscientious 2 to 4-year or 5-year people. I sketch out in my mind. I'll be honest. I was generally the sketched out in my mind guy, Adam, for years, and my business kind of increased steady.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what, when I went to writing it out, and doing it, my business took off. Yeah. I mean, like crazy off. So you people that need serious help, find that help in any number of places. Coaching services, Adam's got services, Kaplan's got services. There are places to go to get that help. You don't have to do it alone.
I'll say is, the point of creating a goal is not necessarily to hit it. That's fine if you do. The whole point of creating a goal, though, is to create the what, how, and who. So when you set up a goal, you actually automatically box yourself into a set of actions. So if you say, I'm going to go out there and do 20 transactions that year, that's a wonderful number of transactions. Who you have to become to do 20 transactions is now a box, right?
Right.
How you have to do 20 transactions. There's a lot more ways to do 20 transactions there are to do 5,000, right? Yeah. And then what tools that you need, kind of going back to the question, is the third component to this. So the point of a goal and to think bigger is designed to create bigger boxes in your life, and then you keep setting a new box and a new box, because it keeps projecting you to being a new individual in the business world or the real estate world, because your now goal is higher, which creates a different level of thinking. The thinking leads to a different level of action. So thinking plus action equals results. So the box, if you had a graph, and I always draw it out there, and you had say, I'm only want to go out there and do 10 transactions. I'm just, because there's a lot of new people here, right?
Right.
That's fine, but it's going to box you into doing about 10 transactions. So you're going to learn everything to do. You're going to take training. You're going to talk to people all around how I do 10, instead of going, how do I do 50? And asking, it doesn't take any more energy to ask a different question. But now if you hit 50% of your goal at 50, you're still doing 15 more than you did at 10. And so the point of a goal is it's all about the who, what, how, design in the plan to get clear from there. So that's why. Yeah.
So this is so good. So this is about setting right? Be the CEO of your business.
Yes.
Do you want to be the CEO of a 10 transaction business, or do you want to be the CEO of a 100 transaction business? Yeah. And what if you said it's the same amount of work to do 100 as it is to do 10? How do I do that, right? So, and I love your concept of a box, right? I get this like thought bubble that jumps up and it says, well, here's my 10 bubble, but then here's my 50 bubble, and here's my 100 bubble. And I've got to do different things to get to each of those boxes. Why? Well, and I think what you're saying is it's not always harder to do 50.
No, you know what it does is it actually just gets you to ask a different question. A different quality question. It's like, I use the analogy sometimes when teaching is like going out and running a 5K is wonderful. It's a whole level of action. Going out and running a marathon or even a half marathon, it's not that the struggle is any less. It's just a different level of action. Running a 5K is still going to hurt almost the same as a half marathon. I did 21 Ironmans in 3.5 years, so I feel that pain, right? So it's like, it's not that it gets easier. You just get more accustomed to it. So the same thing here. Think bigger when you're designing your plan.
It's funny. I do a lot of cycling too. So, and one of the, the great cyclists, Greg LeMond, right? Yeah. The Tour de France, he says, it never gets easier. You just go faster.
That's exactly right. And that's the same thing in business. Exactly.
It doesn't hurt less. You just go faster. So that's awesome. So skills, expertise needed, goal setting is a part of that. Anything else specific on skills that you think are going to be unique to 2022?
Well, I think leading yourself, self-leadership is going to be absolutely critical. I think it's going to be a very interesting 2022. I think the agents who actually have been in the business for probably 3 or so years are going to find it very challenging in a different way. I do. I think that people who have been in it for 10 plus years are going to be able to have the tenacity and resolve to finish it. I think brand new coming into it are going to have a leg up on the people from the last 2 or 3 years because they don't know any different. And I'm teaching this to a lot of people. We have a lot of people in our organization right now that have come in the last couple of years and they're like, oh, it's this, it's easy to market home, easy to market home, easy to market home. Well, I started in 2006 when it wasn't easy to market home.
Nice start. Way to bottom ticket. Yeah, that's right. Right before it blew up.
I think there's going to be a lot of people who rode the rise of inflation and evaluated prices and people going out there and buying homes. And it doesn't mean they can't succeed. It just means you're going to need a new level of action, a new plan, and a new set of skills. Yeah, and so that skills have to be.
It's not just put it in the multiple listing service and it sells. You're going to actually have to probably market. You're going to have to price effectively. You're going to have to, you can't wait for the market to figure out your price. You're going to have to figure out the price, right?
Yep.
So skill sets, market analysis, understanding your market, measures, forces, all those kind of things. Excellent. We're almost done, everybody. We're almost out of time. Adam, I got one more thing. What attitude perspective do you suggest to create this plan? When you go into this 2022 and beyond, what do you think the attitude or perspective you should have is?
Well, I think it's a never giving up attitude. I know people have heard that before, but I think really the way I kind of look at this is that it's going to be challenging. It's going to be hard, but you're very resilient. If you're on this right now, Kaplan's got a lot of wonderful courses. You're already taking the steps to prepare yourself mentally to change whatever you need to change in the moment that needs to be changed. And so if there's a roadblock that shows up, use that as a sign to go around it, right? It doesn't mean that it's hard, it's happening to you, it's happening to the industry. Find a way to succeed. Find a reason to win, right? And if you can take that attitude to 2022, because I think it's going to get a little rocky for a lot of people. And so if it does, just know like, I'm here. Why not me? Why can't I win? I will tell you that one thing that's very clear with a lot of leaders in real estate right now, the conversations I'm having, is they go, it's going to get rocky, but the people, the real estate professionals who show up day in and day out are going to have more opportunity to take more than their fair share of market share in 2022. So that you can be excited for.
Love that. And I think you said earlier, learn.
Yeah.
Just learn. Even a failure is a point to learn, right? Don't make the same mistake twice. I run education company. I can tell you right now, you can, our instructors, our courses, you take 20 and 30 years of experience and they boil that down into a 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour class, continuing education. You will learn everything they know in a 3 or 4 hour class. Do not overlook education as a way to jet yourself ahead. Do not overlook it. People look at it, and they look at continuing education sometimes as, I got this gun to my head and I got to do education. That's not how we create our courses. We take and try to boil down, 10, 20, 30 years of knowledge into that course. Take those courses. And it's a fast way to jet yourself forward.
One plug for that. When I started in 2006, I borrowed $8,000 to start my first business, and I took $4,000 of that, and I went to a Howard Britton conference to learn. I mean, that's like they don't do it anymore, but literally to learn. So I literally took borrowed money for no pendings, no deals, and I invested it into myself. And I think that's exactly what you're saying is invest into yourself so you become the asset, the CEO of your life.
Right on, Adam. That's a perfect place to end it. I want to say thank you for being here once again, enlightening, engaged, and I think we brought a lot of value for everybody. Attendees, thank you for being here. You've been to Real Experts, and the today's session was become the CEO of your life and create a growth plan for 2022. And we appreciate you attending. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.